This is a quick video on putting together a Facebook marketing campaign for your cleaning service. And in this video, we are focused on the objectives and how choosing these different objectives and using these two tools, boosting or the ads manager, can completely change your results. Often whenever you ask this question about Facebook marketing, contractors, cleaners, usually it's 50-50. Half of the people will say it's great, they make tons of money off of it, and then the other 50% say it's awful and they never get any work off of it and they just get a lot of likes and shares and stuff like that, but they don't generate revenue. Well, there's actually a reason for that in some cases, and that's why I just want to do this quick video, and I'm not going to get into the details too much. I just mainly want to show you some very simple things that you might not be aware of. Now, this is a business page, and this is the boost button. I think most people are familiar with this. And this was set up for us. This is for small business people, and they made it super simple. There's a downside to super simple, though, is it can bring in the wrong audience, and you could be targeting people that are 10 miles away and you don't even realize it. Uh, so the first thing I want to go over is they give you the options of website visitors, engagement, or messages. And then the big problem down here is you can see by default they say automatic audience, and I'm sure most people are going to go with this because they don't want to. Most small business owners don't want to get into details too much, and they just assume, hey, Facebook must know this stuff. But I want to show you what can happen. Uh, I'm going to choose people you choose through targeting. And I'm just going to type in, the ages don't matter. I'm just going to type in my city, and you see what can happen if you let them decide. Now, even if I take this down to 10 miles over here, this is Canada over here. Welland, Port Colborne, Niagara Falls. This is all Canada over here. So if I use the boosting tool and just allowed Facebook to decide on their own, well, they don't have any context of this. They don't realize that. So this is a reason why you want to get more detailed in some cases. You want to look and make sure this is your service area. Now, one thing you can do also, because they only let you go down to 10 miles for a city, if instead you punch in an address, I'm going to punch in an address, Main Street in Amherst, and you can see what happens. The difference is now I can go down to a mile. Now, a mile is going to be too small, but there is a big difference. And I don't think that most people realize that when you just do a city, they go 10 miles is the lowest you can go. But if you actually type in a physical address, now you can go down to 1 mile. But I'm going to say 1 mile is too, it's going to be too small. So I'm just going to say 5. Sorry about that. 5. And now you can see, now I'm not in Canada anymore. Now you can clearly see over here, this is Canada. Now I'm not in Canada anymore. So that's why this can happen to contractors and they don't even realize it. So this is the boosting tool. Also, so the next part is going to be Ads Manager. And with the Ads Manager, they give you these different options of what your objective is. And the big thing to understand with this is they are optimizing based on the action. So, for instance, for brand awareness and reach, this is mainly people liking your page. And what happens is Facebook is going to go and specifically look for people who have a history of liking pages. Not all of us do. Some of us like pages randomly, some of us never like pages. So that if you're going to do this tool, let's say you want to, build out a foundation and just kind of get your name out there a little bit, well, this would be a good way to do it. But you have to understand the point of this is that you understand they're going to look for people who have a history of that. Now, traffic is mainly you're going to send someone to a landing page or a page on your website or your website homepage. That's completely up to you. But the important part to understand is if you want to send somebody to your website or a landing page, you'd want to choose this option because they, just like not all of us like pages, not all of us will click on links. Like I personally don't click on links on Facebook very often. So somebody, I would never see these kind of ads because I never click on links. But some people click on links all the time, so they are going to look for those people with a history of doing that. Or another thing is not everybody will wait for a page to load. I know that sounds funny, but we live in an ADD world, and not everybody will wait for that 5 seconds for a website page to load. They'll just click right back to Facebook. So they're going to look for people who will. Engagement is similar to awareness and reach, except they're all also going to include this is like engagement's like a supermarket. They're looking for people who do everything, that they like pages, they share them, they comment on them, they uh, but they also will buy offers and click on links. So this is kind of like a total um, smorgasbord, if you will, a supermarket. Now with traffic, if I run a lot of these campaigns myself, so you don't always get a lot of likes with a campaign like this because people don't have a history. They're not focused on that. They're focused on clicking on the link. So when you do this, if you're not getting a lot of likes and shares, I wouldn't be upset by that because you're not optimizing for that. Now, with engagement, that would be different. They're looking for people that do that. Same thing with videos. They're going to look for people who have a history of watching videos. Lead generation, this is the form. Not everybody fills out a form or will fill out the Facebook form. So they're going to look for people who have a history of it. And messages. Some of us will respond to messages, some of us delete them. If you do a message campaign, they're looking for people that have a history of replying to messages. Uh, the last one is conversions, and this one can be a little bit tricky. And conversions is basically that a conversion can be anything. It can be any kind of event, and this is a whole nother blog in itself. But basically, you use the pixel, you send somebody to your website or a landing page, and they buy something, or they schedule an estimate in our case, or they book a job online. That would be an example of a conversion. So if you use this tool, they are going to go look for people that have they're going to look for the profile of people who have a history of converting.